Hey guys, it's me, Shaw360, and just so you know, the album sale is going to be a video called Memorial Day, so keep a lookout for it. There'll be a video called Memorial Day, and then there'll be a link in the description box linking you to the album sale video. So I just want you guys to know that ahead of time. The rest of this video is just going to be me talking out my ass. So if you want to hear me spout K-pop nonsense, that's what the rest of this video is. Hope you'll enjoy. If not, at least check out Memorial Day. Alright, so I don't know if you can tell from the way my voice sounds, but allergies have rung me through the ringer and my voice is just, it's not coping well. So if I sound crazy or if I stumble over my words, I'm sorry. I'm actually dealing with a lot of sinus drainage and a little soreness, and it's not fun. But almost all of the channels I'm subscribed to that are like K-pop unboxing channels, they're all doing these chat videos, and I really want to do a chat video, especially because this is Shaw360 Chats. I'm supposed to be talking to you guys, so this video is going to be random as fuck, but it is me chatting with you because that is the point of this channel. So hey, let's get it going. First thing I have to talk about is the thing that everyone is talking about, Gia leaving Miss A. And, you know, I felt bad that I didn't do a full video about Gia leaving Miss A on my other channel. But the reason I didn't is because part of me wanting to do the video about Minji leaving Miss A, about Minji leaving 2NE1 was the fact that I felt like YG is such a fucking villain. And it was about time that he was exposed, and I felt like Minji was doing that. And so I really did that video as a way to support her, but also to indict YG for his shady-ass practices. But I don't feel that way towards JYP, but I do feel like JYP has been royally fucking up the last couple of years when it comes to being able to release things for certain artists, especially veteran groups, and, you know, just treating them with the dignity and the respect that they deserve as these groups, instead of looking at them as nothing but like prime financial optimization tools. Because when you look at a group like Miss A, why don't they promote more music? Because JYP makes more money promoting Suzy as an actress and a CF model. And while that's all fine and good maybe for a corporation, when it comes to people's lives and their livelihoods, it's terrible for the other girls. For the other girls, if Suzy can't promote with the group and they don't have individual activities that JYP is actively looking for them, then they're bringing in none of their own personal money. Because Suzy's CF money isn't split 4 ways. Otherwise, I'm sure the other girls will be like, yes, bitch, get out there and work. I will be on a beach in Tahiti. Like, if that was the case, then yeah, they probably would be cool as hell. But that's not the way it works. And so while they see Suzy racking up stacks and their money is just kind of trickling in, it's a no-brainer. Why would she stay? And honestly, I'm surprised that she's trying to get back into Korean music as a solo, Gia, because I heard that she signed with Yedang, and so she's supposed to be trying to do stuff in Korea as a solo. I thought she was going to go back to China. Like, I really did think she was, because, I mean, you look at the members of EXO that left and went to China and how they had just blown up there. And even Jessica, like, did really well in terms of, like, promoting herself in China. Not necessarily her music, just, like, herself. So I thought that that was going to be where she was going to go. And personally, I was like, yes, do that, mama. Make it happen. Line them pockets, because China is a media arena where it can't be controlled by the top 3 record labels, whereas Korea, JYP, YG, SM, they pretty much can tell these broadcast companies, I don't want you to put that one on the show, I want you to put that one on the show. And even though now it is illegal for them to do that after they passed the DBSK law, that doesn't mean anything really, because the law just prevents them from actively, I guess, telling these companies that they can't have certain artists if they put this other artist on the show. But the companies have already probably behind the scenes worked out with the big 3, okay, well, you know, you don't have to tell me, you just got to kind of subtly suggest it, and we're gonna freeze out these people. And, you know, same way I feel like Minji, I'll buy her stuff no matter what, even if she's not on a fucking music show ever. I will buy Gia's stuff at least in the beginning, to support. If the stuff's not good, I won't buy any more. But I wonder how well she's going to be able to promote, because even Jay Park, as hidden as he was last year with all the stuff he was doing, the music shows weren't for him, because he is kind of public enemy number one when it comes to JYP. I thought that maybe JYP and Jay Park were cool at first, but then lately Jay Park has kind of been taking shots, if you will, so I guess maybe they're not as cool as I thought they were. Not that I thought they were like super cool, but I just thought that, you know, maybe they had an understanding, a gentleman's understanding, but apparently not so much. But yeah, JYP, you know, by promoting Suzy as an entity over Miss A, he really dropped the ball, and it's really sad and disheartening, because Miss A, when they debuted and their early stuff, Miss A was everything. Like, really, they were everything. I remember the very first Miss A video I ever saw was Goodbye Baby, because back then, Yahoo on the main page would put whatever was like the fastest growing video of the day. And Miss A's Goodbye Baby was on the Yahoo front page, and I didn't know a thing about K-pop other than the Wonder Girls. And I didn't even know the Wonder Girls were K-pop. I just knew they were like Korean singing girls. And so I click on this video for Goodbye Baby, and instantly, like, just the sound of the song was so retro and fun and cool, and it has so many neat vocal moments in it that I remember replaying the video, going to the suggestions, watching Breathe, watching Bad Girl, Good Girl. That led to me watching Tiara videos, led to me watching all these other girl group videos, and it really got me started. So Miss A, for my personal K-pop history, very important, you know, and it was hard for me to have Colors come out. And I expressed it on my other channel and my unboxing for Colors and other things I said like towards the end of the year, because that album was like no effort at all. Like, and it showed. It was like they had written an album and they were like, okay, well, how much time does Suzy have on the clock? Okay, she has time for these kind of songs. Okay, well, then we'll put these on there. Hurry up, get it out. You know, it didn't feel collaborative. It didn't feel like it was custom made for the girls, for the group. It just didn't feel right. And then Hush, that travesty, where it's like 2 or 3 new songs and then basically a repackage of Independent Women and Touch. It just, I don't know. I'm so disappointed about that, and I just hate to see my second generation groups being like this. I've lost so much when it comes to second generation lately that I can't. I don't know who's next, but I'm worried about it. I've lost In Black. I feel like I've lost To Anyone. I was never a big Kara stan, but, you know, I appreciated who they were in the K-pop universe. I really hate that they're not doing it anymore. I feel like I've already lost 2PM. Like, you know, truth be told, I feel like I've already lost 2PM, because the way that their promotions have been going these last couple times, and the fact that they hardly promote in Korea anymore, I can't. So, yeah, I feel like second generation is slowly I feel like I've lost Beast. You know, with Hyunsung leaving the group, I don't feel like Beast is going to be what I need them to be, because, I mean, his voice is such an integral part of their songs that, I mean, Yosef's probably going to get more singing time for sure, but it's just not going to be the same. I don't like it. So, yeah, the death of, oh, and then U-Kiss. I was never a U-Kiss stan, but there are, like, I would say 3 songs by U-Kiss that I really, really love, especially like Stop Girl and Standing Still. Those are my fucking jams, and those were later U-Kiss after the decline started to happen. But with Eli's marriage and Baby and everybody else acting like they didn't know this was happening, and these lackluster releases and this terrible ass packaging, yeah, second generation, I'm scared for it. Tiara can't buy a hit in Korea. China loves them, but they can't buy a hit in Korea unless it's a solo, and even then, that's sketchy at best. A lot of these people who were a part of my whole growing up in K-pop, they're not, and But yeah, like I said earlier, part of the reason I didn't do the video for Gia that I did for Minji is because I felt like with with YG, there was a clear bias against females on YG's label. Whereas when it comes to JYP, his neglect is universal. It doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, or beast. If he can't make money off of you, he's not giving you any time. And that's the reason why so many of his artists get nothing but digital stuff, because he has short-sighted Jisoo's career, he's short-sighted 15and's career, he's short-sighted Baekhyun's career. Like, honestly, Baekhyun, she should be more popular internationally. But she's not. And she's not getting the physical releases that she should get, because JYP just can't be bothered, even though, like, in Korea, she releases a single and that shit goes all kill. So I don't understand what the problem is. 2 p.m. he didn't have them promoting right. We lost 2 a.m. because they weren't promoting right. So, I mean, his neglect, it's everybody gets a piece of it. It is not reserved just for women. And I think that's the reason why I don't have the amount of vitriol I have. I just have a lot of sadness over that whole thing. But I feel like I've talked about that enough. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about SM and the solos. I'm going to talk about that because Zap47Love did a video about why is SM making so many solos, and I'm not going to get into any of her opinions or what she's talking about. I'm just going to talk about how I feel about it and my own thoughts, because I have some thoughts. I feel like SM has had a really soft first half of the year. I feel like nothing that SM has put out for this first half of the year has really struck a chord with the audiences. I feel like the sales have really been tame, and I think it's because they've come out with all these solos. And I wonder if the reason why they came out with all these solos is because right now their group situation is in a lot of flux, or if it's because they want to have really soft sales to make EXO's album look really great. But the way they've been promoting solos has been really weird for me. Like, the only actual group release we've had from SM this year, I believe, is the Red Velvet, the Velvet. I think that's the only one we've had in 2016. But Rywook's, I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, from Super Junior, his solo didn't feel like it was promoted very well, and it flopped accordingly. Yesung, his solo didn't feel like it was promoted very well, flopped accordingly. Tiffany didn't feel like it was promoted well at all, flopped accordingly. Taemin, over-promoted. And I'm saying this is a Shawwal. Over-promoted. Mediocre sales at best. You know, kind of, you know, what you expect when you have 4 different covers and you have stands. He got those kind of sales. Jonghyun, not really promoted as well as I would like as a Shawwal. So I can't say if he did a good job or not, because really I'm kind of biased. And it's selling okay, but it is strange when you have one member of a group that gets 4 covers, 2 highlight reels, 3 versions of the same video, multiple teaser videos, and 2 lead single videos. And then you have another member of the same group who most people would argue is the vocal talent of the bunch, and he gets a video, 3 teasers, and 1 cover. Like, not 4 covers of his album, 1 cover. And, you know, I don't know why SM continues to punish Jonghyun like they do, but get over it. The dating scandal has been years ago. The public has forgotten about it. Get over it. Give the man his due. Shit, you know, I'm tired of being in the basement. Fuck. But I can't make SM do better. They've got to want better for themselves. And that's just life. You can't make people do better. They have to want better for themselves. And when they display that they want it, then you could jump in and help them. That's just how it is. You can try to put a mirror in front of their face, but until they can open their eyes and see it, there's not going to be any change. But yeah, SM solos, I really feel like this is the long game. I feel like they've done all this so that when EXO comes out, they'll be like, EXO saved SM. Look what they did. Continuing to be the bright spot in a dreary atmosphere, universe, whatever. And, you know, I don't feel comfortable with y'all playing these games with my groups and with my solos, because these are people's livelihood. You know, people are working really hard, and when you use them as a prop like this, you know, it affects what they can do in the future. It affects the way the public sees them, and I mean, I just feel like it's a con, and it's a really hurtful con, so I'm not really too pleased with SM right now, and I feel like this is going to be another one of those years where SHINee's not going to promote. I don't know for sure. I'm not saying it's for certain, but I feel like this is another one of those years where SHINee's not going to promote. And it's disheartening for me, especially because I'm so over the way that they're doing their Japanese promotions. There used to be a pattern to SHINee's Japanese promotions: 3 singles and then an album, 3 singles and then an album. And then this last album, DDD or D3, that was 2 singles and then an album. And then this year, SHINee's had 1 single in Japan so far, and we're halfway through the year. So the chances of them rushing out a couple of singles in Japan, they might do it, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like they will. So I feel like we're going to have another December SHINee album release again in Japan. And I mean, I don't ever really live for SHINee's Japanese stuff, but there are gems here and there, and some of their singles in Japan I've actually really enjoyed. I loved Dazzling Girl. I think it's probably their best Japanese single ever, in my opinion, followed very closely by Your Number. I thought that was a great single as well, but the way that they're being promoted, it's like, the reason why SHINee went to Japan anyway is because of Jonghyun's scandal, his dating scandal. And so they went to Japan to kind of cool things off and, get the heat off their necks and, make some money somewhere else until things died down at home. And I guess SM feels like, Japan has outlived its usefulness. SHINee has shown that they can sell in Korea again, so they just don't give a fuck about their Japanese legacy. I mean, come on. Let's do that. I feel like there's a lot of lost opportunities when it comes to SM in Japan, because FX should have been in Japan. They should have been in Japan. FX is so quirky in Korea anyway that they totally fit this weird quirky aesthetic that's in Japan. So why wouldn't we bring them over there? Why do we keep trying to push Girls' Generation down people's throat? Don't get me wrong. Them bitches have some fierce albums in Japan. I just recently bought one. Oh, so good. But I'm just saying, bring on the babes. Bring FX to Japan and bring them there right. That leftover throwaway single that they released in Japan with absolutely no promotion, just showed up one day on Yes Asia for sale, that's not it. That's not the way you do that. So, I mean, that's going to be all of my rant for that. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the Kangen thing, but I'm not going to talk about it as an elf because I don't have that right. I don't follow Super Junior like that, so I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm going to talk to you from a different perspective as a person who appreciates groups and who appreciates the fickle nature of fans. So Kangen got this drunk driving charge, hit a pole, fled from the scene, then came back and admitted what he did. And apparently it's the second time he's had some drunk driving stuff on his record. So, a group of concerned citizens, because I'm not going to call them fans, a group of concerned citizens started a petition to get him out of Super Junior, apparently. And people are up in arms about it. And this is my thing. What he did was wrong. I've never been a victim of a drunk driver, but I grew up with an alcoholic, and he was an alcoholic who liked to drink away from home and come back home. So invariably, he was on the road driving. And I remember being a kid, and up until about my teenage years, being worried that he was never going to come home, or that he was going to come home in handcuffs because he'll have hit somebody and killed somebody. The fact that he never did is a blessing, but at the same time, that worry ate me up inside because I couldn't handle it. And even now, I feel like, every time he got behind the wheel, he's taking a chance with his life and somebody else's life. It's a serious thing to do because of the dangerous aspect of it. But also, if you're willing to take the chance of driving drunk, if you feel that confident in yourself for driving drunk, I would say half the time it's somebody who's got chronic drinking habits. I would say half the time it's somebody with chronic drinking habits. Sometimes it is, that lone night when you're out at a party and you've been drinking and nobody else can drive your car home, and so you're like, well, I'll take a chance. That's not good thinking, but that happens. In college, I knew a lot of people who acted that way, and some of those people suffered big consequences. But I think there's a lot of chronic drinkers that feel like, well, I drink all the time. I don't think it affects me. I'm just going to get behind the wheel and drive home. And with Korea having the drinking culture that it is, probably, it was more of that than like, it's a special occasion, I can't find anybody to take me home. Because you're a Kangin from Super Junior, you could pay somebody to take you home. Like, you should never have to drive drunk because you've got money for taxis, bicycle service, somebody to put you on the back of a motorcycle, somebody to strap you to their back and carry you home. Like, you've got that kind of resources. But it's probably one of those things where you feel confident in your abilities. You're like, I can do it. I'm not affected. I do this all the time. Climb behind the wheel. You were more affected than you thought, sir. But if this is indicative of him having problems with alcohol consumption, I think rather than a petition to get him removed from his group, a petition should have been levied to demand him to go seek treatment, to demand him to go to rehab. Like, I think that is a more effective petition than doing, oh, he needs to be out the group. And I'll tell you why. I think that that's a more effective petition because when it comes to celebrity scandals, sometimes things aren't what you think they are. And if every time somebody did a petition, it led to a company taking action, there are a lot of people that you love right now that you would not see. And that's the reason why I say I don't think that companies need to always listen to fan response. For example, the little girl from Lovelyz that had all the scandal and couldn't debut with the rest of the group with their first song. I think it was proven later on that all that shit was false. Well, imagine if the company had been like, we're not even going to try to reintroduce you to the group. We're just going to move on with what we got here, and your future as an idol is in the trash because scandal. Or imagine Big Bang as they are now with no G-Dragon because of the marijuana smoke scandal. I mean, he did that, but at the same time, he apologized. He made a mistake, and, he said he regrets that, and people have moved on, and people love G-Dragon now. People love G-Dragon now. Could you imagine Big Bang without him if people were like, oh my gosh, he's a dope head addict, heroin, drugs, get him out of here, boo. It would have been overreacting for what it was. It would have been overreacting for what it was. So, you can't always go by fan sentiment because fan sentiment is not always right. My beloved SHINee. After Jonghyun's dating scandal, people were like, toss him out the group, fuck that guy, SHINee is for, we don't need him. Think of all the songs that Jonghyun has wrote lyrics for. Think of just the sound of a SHINee song with Jonghyun's voice extricated from that bitch, and how awful it would sound if you only had Taemin's voice every single time you're supposed to have Jonghyun's voice. Not that Taemin's voice is bad, but there are some things that Jonghyun does that there's just nobody else in SHINee that can do those things. They can try, and they could do an admirable, serviceable job, but Jonghyun, he's needed in SHINee. And if he had been put out that group, I don't think I'd be a stan right now. I really don't. I just don't see it for me in SHINee like that. But I've said it before in past videos. I don't see SHINee without any of the members. Even Minho, as negligible as people feel his role to be in the group, I just don't see it. 4 on stage or some other random asshole in there instead of my bae. I don't see it. I don't see it. So I think that it's not for fans to decide what should happen with a group. I really think it's a management decision in collaboration with the artist. And I think they should come to terms, and they should have evaluations, and their lawyers should talk, and then those decisions that should be made. Because, sometimes it is better for a group for someone to leave. 2 p.m. is really the only example I could think of where I think it was better for everybody for somebody to leave a group. Jay Park, I love him. I really do. I like the work that he's doing. I like how he's expanding K-pop into K-hip hop, and he's really kind of made it cool and acceptable for some of these other more risque artists to be the stars that they are now, or at least get the prominence that they're getting now. And I don't think he could have done what he did there if he hadn't left 2 p.m. I think 2 p.m. would be cool with Jay Park still in 2 p.m. Like, I think that'd be awesome. And if 2 p.m. had to take a hiatus and then come back, you know, I think that they could have weathered the storm, because they could have done what SHINee did. Hang out in Japan for a while, then come back to Korea. But, you know, for Jay and for his own personal growth as an artist, I think that it made sense for him to leave, and now look at him. He's doing something extremely unique in the media that, you know, there's nobody else who I think could fill the role that he's filled as that bridge between K-pop and K-hip hop. But at the same time, you know, fans that hated him before now totally see it for him. And that just shows how fickle people are, and how that shit could have blown over if given time, you know. So I just think that fans, in some ways, they should be taken very seriously, because when it comes down to it, the fans' dollars are what finance your label, and you should definitely treat fans with respect. You should listen to what they have to say. You should take their concerns to heart. You should definitely make it a collaborative environment between the fans and the record labels, and come to something in the middle that we all love. But when it comes to stuff like getting people out of groups, when it comes to stuff like, you know, mainly getting people out of groups, when it comes to stuff like, you know, deciding that, you know, you want to discontinue a group because maybe the fans are saying they don't see it for them, you know, I think that's something that's a management call. Because, like, okay, a group that fans didn't see it for, and then they came back and rose out of the fucking ashes like a phoenix, EXID. You know, there were some people that had always been rocking with them because they had good songs. Like, Up and Down, they had good songs, interesting videos. Every Night is a great video. Every Night is a great video. And then I Feel Good, that's a great one too. But it was one of those things where people were like, these girls are okay, but, you know, they're not really my group. Even Up and Down. When Up and Down was first released, a lot of people didn't see it for Up and Down. And then the fan cam of Honey came out, and then they were like, hey, hey. And then they blew up. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just really don't feel like, you know, certain decisions are for fans. I think certain decisions are for management and for the artist, and we just need to keep it that way. And I think that fans are right, though, to admonish Kangen for his irresponsible behavior, because, you know, you are taking your life and the lives of other people on the roads in your hand when you decide to make irresponsible driving and drinking decisions. But that's just the truth. That is the fact of the matter. There's been a lot of lives ruined behind drunk driving. It's not a game. I live in Texas. There's this guy called Ethan Couch, and the press dubbed him the Affluenza Teen because he killed a bunch of people drunk driving one night, and the judge didn't give him any jail time. She only gave him probation because she said he grew up too rich to know right from wrong. Have you ever heard of such a fucking thing in your life? And then the guy skips out on his probation, and him and his mom flee to Mexico to go on vacation and hide out, if you will. Get caught by the feds. Now he's going to do some real time in jail. Not as much as he deserves. He's only going to do 2 years. And his mom is facing charges, as she deserves, for raising a spoiled brat and then defending his actions in court and then taking him on the run to fucking Mexico for vacation. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. This is the end of my chats video. It's been a half an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I sound crazy. My ideas are crazy. I wasn't even hardly looking at the camera most of the time because I was just thinking my thoughts. And this is, if you've ever wondered like how my conversations go with other people on YouTube that I talk to outside of YouTube, this is exactly it. Like, you can ask Angels 2014. You can ask Alex, what is Shallow 360 like away from YouTube? This is it. if you and I were friends, this is the way our conversation would go about K-pop. So I really hope you've enjoyed kind of a behind the scenes look at the zaniness that goes on in my damn mind. And thank you again for watching, supporting. I love you guys as always, and I have some really cool stuff coming up on my channel. I've got BTS's Run. Finally, the ship finally arrived. Oh, I've been waiting so long for it. I have Lehigh stuff coming in, or it's already here. I've got some Twice stuff. I've got some Akbang Musician stuff. I just have a lot of really great things coming in the mail, and I can't wait to share them with you guys. And I will see you on everything. Oh, and dramas. I need to mention that. I don't know what drama I'm going to do. I heard that Gong Yoo has a drama coming up. And if this is true, supposedly the lead lady for his drama is the girl who was the lead in Cheese in the Trap. If that comes to fruition and that is a real thing, that will be the drama I will watch. Because Gong Yoo from Coffee Prince, one of my favorite K-dramas ever. Gong Yoo, the actor, favorite K-pop male actor of all time. Absolutely. Of everyone I've ever watched, Gong Yoo. And then the girl from Cheese and the Trap, even though Cheese and the Trap ended horribly, I thought she was a fantastic actress. Very natural, very realistic, and I think her kind of on-screen persona will match perfectly with the kind of wit and charm and sensitivity that Gong Yoo brings to the screen every time he shows his ass, literally and figuratively. So yeah, I can't wait to watch that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this chat again. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.